This is probably one of the most important documents you need to have as an expat in Germany. Actually, there is another document which is as important, but I'll talk about that later on in the video. So why am I saying that this is one of the most important documents? To answer that, you must answer some of my questions. Why did you come to Germany? For a better life for yourself, for better work opportunities, or something else? If you came to Germany just like most of us, what would happen if you are not there anymore? How would things function after that? I know these are some very deep questions, but if you are new to the channel, my name is Ahsan, and on this channel we discuss how to build wealth in Germany. And while we build our wealth in Germany, we also have to look into estate planning so that the people we love are taken care of if we are not there for them anymore. To understand this, we have to first look at the inheritance law in Germany. This law decides who gets a person's things after they are no longer here. If there is no will, the estate succession will be followed according to the German civil code. Sometimes things work well. For example, when the family is supposed to get everything, but often the rules don't match what the person wanted. Also, if one spouse dies, the other does not automatically get everything. If there are children, they get half. The other half goes to the surviving spouse. All of them become co-heirs. That means they share the house, money, car, and other things together. They must agree on what to do, like selling the house. But for expats, things might not be as simple or quick because your whole family might not be living in Germany or even the EU. By default, the husband or wife always gets part of the inheritance even if children or other family members are alive. How much the spouse gets depends on different situations. If the person had children, the spouse gets half of everything. If there were no children but the deceased person had siblings or parents, the spouse gets 3/4. So depending on your specific situation, the default might not be a great thing. Here is an additional breakdown detailing the order of statutory inheritance. But if you do not agree with the legal regulations, then you should draw up a will and this additional document, which I will share later on. But if you are getting value from this video, please hit the like button and turn on the notifications. So in your will, there are 6 things that need to be covered. Number 1, you choose who gets your things. The most important part of a will is choosing who should get your belongings and money. This person is called your heir. You can name your spouse, children, grandchildren, or even friends. You can choose one person to get everything. That person becomes your sole heir. This can avoid fights between family members, but remember, they don't just get your money. They also take care of your debts, funeral, and your household. You can also disinherit someone, but close family members like your children or parents still get a legal share. You cannot fully leave them out. Number 2, you can leave specific things to someone. In your will, you can leave a special item to someone without making them an heir. This is called a legacy. You can leave someone cash. It means coins and banknotes, not money in a bank account. So write clearly what you mean. Number 3, giving extra to one heir. You can also leave something extra to one of your heirs, but you need to say whether it should be counted as part of their share or given in addition. For example, I give both my children equal shares. My daughter Sarah also gets my stocks without it being deducted from her share. Write clearly so no one has to guess what you meant. Number 4, you can choose a backup heir. Sometimes the person you choose to inherit may decease before you. That's why it's smart to name a backup, also called a substitute heir. For example, my son should be my heir. If he goes before me, my sister will inherit. Number 5, you can appoint an executor. An executor is someone who makes sure your wishes are followed. They help you divide your things and manage the paperwork. This person doesn't have to be in the family, but they should know about taxes and inheritance law. Executors usually get paid from your estate. You can also say how much they get in your will. For example, 1% of everything you leave behind plus sales tax. Number 6, setting rules and conditions. You can also write conditions in your will. These are rules someone must follow to get what you leave them. For example, my son gets the apartment only if he finishes his bachelor, or my daughter gets 5,000 euros on her 15th birthday and the rest after she turns 18. These are acceptable conditions, but things like you should visit me 6 times a year to inherit, or you must marry this person to get your share. These are too personal and controlling, and courts often find them unfair or immoral, so they won't be followed. Now here is a sample will that follows all 6 things but is still invalid. If you make your own will, you have to handwrite it yourself. A digital document would not be invalid if you do it on your own. So instead of writing your will yourself, you can also contact a notary to have your will drawn up. A handwritten will allows you to write your wishes on your own, anytime and anywhere without any cost. You can stay flexible and can change or destroy it whenever you want. You can also choose to store it at a local court for safety, and you can even write a joint will with your spouse. However, there are still risks. It could be lost, changed, or not found, and it might be unclear or invalid if not written properly. A notarized will, on the other hand, is created with legal advice and assistance at a notary's office. It is officially stored and secure from tampering. It often replaces the need for a certificate of inheritance, saving your heirs extra costs. But it requires an appointment and notary fees apply, even for updates. For a notarized will, you must pay a fee based on the value of your assets at the time the will is drawn up. For example, if your estate is worth 25,000 euros, the fee is about 150 euros. And if your estate is worth 100,000 euros, you pay about 350 euros. In case you want to leave your whole inheritance to your spouse, the Berliner Testament allows spouses to declare each other as sole heirs in a joint will. Only after both the spouses have passed away would the next in line receive their inheritance. Now, the second document is a post-mortem power of attorney. Because of the will, all the legal heirs will get their rightful share. But this whole process can take 3 to 4 months, during which sensitive and critical payments might come due. In this case, the post-mortem power of attorney will enable an authorized person to act on your behalf. The granting of a post-mortem power of attorney can be done verbally. However, for obvious reasons, it is recommended to choose a written form and in certain cases to have it notarized. This power can be revoked at any time by the issuer or the heirs of the deceased. The greatest advantage of granting a post-mortem power of attorney is that the authorized representative is able to act immediately after the principal's demise, without having to wait for the issuance of a certificate of inheritance, the opening of the last will and testament, or the issuance of a certificate of executorship. And in the case you did not know, the inheritance will be taxed over a certain amount. Here is the tax-free inheritance allowance in Germany. After the tax-free allowance, these percentages will be applied on the inheritance. This might come as a shock to you, but even if both the spouses use the same bank account or an investment account, but the account was in the name of just one person, in that case, inheritance tax would apply on these accounts. So my recommendation would be to have at least one main joint account with your spouse if your cash and investment accounts are above the 500,000 euros threshold. Now, although not entirely necessary, but I also recommend that you have an additional document stating all your important information, your investment accounts, primary email, any crypto passphrases, etc. There are so many things here, and I can make a dedicated video on the topic, but I think you get the general idea about it. Now, these two documents are essential for your estate planning. But while you are here and working hard for yourself and your family, making a financial plan should be among one of your highest priorities, which I share in this video.